I used to think that and still kind of believe, like my core belief, one of my core beliefs is that you should keep on questioning and challenging your belief, whether you're believing in a god or gods, polytheists or atheists, or like any kind of beliefs have to be challenged. You have to question everything about it and put them on the stage so that you can see how solid they are, how like in when it comes to challenged, um like that's how you build your own beliefs and kind of make sure that like you're confident, you should be confident about your own beliefs, or else I used to believe that you're going to just fall into the things that you're used to, like something that you're familiar with, instead of the things that you genuinely believe. You're firm that these are truth because of X, Y, and Z, or at least these has to be truth, or I'm gonna choose these regardless of them being truth or not, because of X, Y, and Z reasons, and they just work so well on me. Like it just fits me. They just fit me, and like the world fits. Like how do I say it? The world makes sense to me according to this view. The reason why I used to believe this is because I thought that not many people believe their own beliefs, or I used to believe that they like not many people, the vast majority of people that I meet and talk with, usually just kept on the things that they were raised upon, like that they were thrown at, how do I say, like given by their upbringings or by a culture or country. So I had lots of Muslim friends or Christian friends or atheist friends or people just who don't even, how do I say it, don't even consider themselves, like put themselves in a container, like they don't even really talk about being atheist or religious, or they're like the core beliefs as in the first place. They just think that good is good, bad is bad. It's all just reasoning. If I ask them like why is bad good, particularly like what makes this different compared to the other, like what makes this one person A, who is objectively considered as a good person, and B, who thinks that he is a good person, but for the vast majority of people in this generation, I mean in this time period, we think that he's causing harms. Like what's the difference between these two people? And obviously they cannot answer it. I'm not saying you should be able to answer this, because not many, like, people have their own values. In my case, like for me, I personally value this a lot. I personally would like refuse to live under things that I don't even believe, or things that I just can't, how do I say, like I ended up with. I just ended up with this one, and I guess, like, this a friend of mine and this friend who is cool. We drink a lot together, and he believes it as well. I don't think there's any problem with this. My family believes it, so I guess I'm just gonna believe it anyways. Like I'm just gonna put this image on me just because I feel like to. I feel like that's a very uh dishonest even to yourself, in my opinion. Like this kind of things aren't really helpful to kind of like think about different things and make sense of things, because you get stuck in like the very first question. You cannot even answer to any of the things, but like when it's challenged and you don't really want to be challenged because you don't really care about these things. So, and as of now, I feel like even if you challenge yourself, let's say, or like you're being challenged, or you throw yourself things out, to the public and see how it goes, see how it stands. I feel like even in that situation, you're just gonna fall into the things that you're familiar with, but in like different range of, let's say, options. So let's say if the more you question, you just have wider options, a wider, how do I say this, container, like list of things that you can choose on. You could, like the more you know, and the more you research, do your own research and study, or like learn more about like certain things, you'll start seeing the patterns in that thing in like less than a week if you spend enough of time. Like in my experience, I didn't know nothing about Christianity. Like I just need like some I just knew very like basic things, like very on the like shallow things, let's say. But the more I study about Christianity or like Islam or Hinduism, like these things, these religions or like bunch of philosophical, I'll say like standpoints, ideologies, you just get into them and you feel like you understand them, but obviously like these are very profound beliefs and ideologies, so like you kind of have to spend quite a lot of time reading like different kinds of things. And I ended up kind of feeling like, so like none of these people have like a concrete and solid answer. Like they all kind of tend to seem to agree, like like the vast majority of people, I mean philosophers, viewpoint about this world is that they all kind of understand, even if like these some of these people are religious, some religious people among this, they all tend to kind of agree on the fact that none of the things that I believe in could not be like could be not true, like they are not 100% sure. And that's what fascinates me the most, because you go and like feel like, because I used to believe that philosophers are very like affirmed in their own beliefs, like very certain in their own ideologies, and it turns out not, like it's the opposite. Like they are people who thought the most in their own era, in my opinion. Like they who thought the most, who wrote and read their own thoughts and spoke about their thoughts out loud and debate. Maybe not debate, because there are different cases, like Descartes, like very famous one. He was a very isolated person even after he got famous, so maybe you could make an argument around that. But I feel like like just in general, you are going to fall into this comfort zone. Like I just feel like this is more truth to me, like this sound truth to me, just because I was influenced and I was raised in this environment. And even like subconsciously, I feel like you're just gonna fall into that because that's our nature. Like I'm not saying it's all determined, like you cannot do anything about this, but just like I said, you can widen, kind of like you can put lots of things in the list, but at the end you're gonna still fall into the thing that you feel like, you feel like it sounds true, like it sounds more right than the others. And just like in my case, I like even though I read the Bible, like as of now, current state, I feel like if even if I read Bible 100 more times, or like any kind of religious um books 100 more times, and live in there in live under these people, like live around these people and talk with them every single day, I don't think I can put myself under a religion, or like particularly religion, or an ideology that I completely disagree with as of now. And it might be just my feel, like this feeling of right now, like of a version of myself that is in right now in this period of time, that is influenced by a bunch of things that I read and watch, but those things are also biased. So like everything's biased. So I'm not saying like you shouldn't go and try and see and watch, like read different things, but it's really difficult to keep on reading the things that you completely disagree with. It's I every single time you just feel like, okay, this part is like you understand, and you feel like I'm 100% like kind of agree, not maybe 100%. I do see some flaws and some things that are very debatable, and also me myself, like I don't 100% agree with his points, but at least like, okay, like I understand, and that's pretty reasonable to me. Like they sound very not airtight, but they sound so right to me. And the other side is like, god, I cannot, like how do I, it feels like a waste of time. And I and that's also one of the reasons why I put myself I've kind of forced myself to read these things because I don't want to be the kind of person who doesn't know not anything about what I care about, just because okay, he believes in this ideology that I completely disagree with, or let's say he believes in this, his core value is something that the vast majority of people disagree with. So I'm not gonna like consider him as someone who's like worth it to listen to, or to read his stuff. And I don't think that's right. Like I feel like just like how I disagree with a lot of points in like a famous, let's say, political stand, a political figure, it doesn't mean that like they are not a single point like a part of him, but I cannot like I can also learn from him. That's what I'm trying to say. So like it's hard, but like so many things are in friction whenever I'm trying to put myself into reading his and these people's work. But it's also like fascinating how like once I get used to it, let's say, like once I know what this is kind of about, and I see their viewpoint and I understand them, I feel like okay, like I get where it's coming from. And I think that's what actual understanding is all about. It's not just saying, okay, I'm different and we like you're different. Like we both have just different opinions. So that really is it. Like I feel like that's like the worst kind of argument that you can make whenever you're in a debate, or just like talking with another person with different viewpoint, or with something that you don't really agree with. The worst argument that thing that you can say is that, just like I said, like we're just different, we just have different opinions. That's just saying, like, trying to kind of paper over your side, your issue, because you cannot answer something that he can, or he can also not answer something that you can. So like you guys kind of tend to like feel like, okay, we are just different, and you won't even really respect his point. That's the thing. I feel like there's people who say a lot of these things that are like that, trying to just like get out of the situation because you don't want to put in like be in that uncomfortable zone where you are being challenged, or your stands are being challenged, because everyone wants to keep their like wants to believe what they are what they used to believe and what they have been believing. That's also one of the reasons why I'm so glad that I started kind of questioning a lot of things in my life, and myself, my beliefs, since I was kind of younger. I believe that not many people, especially around my age, do the things, I mean, question or like read the things that I read. I'm not saying this out of like superiority or like, oh, I'm better. I'm just saying that, just like how some people start their gym journey like early age, just like that. I feel like I just started something that genuinely benefits you, you know in a lot like early age, earlier than the vast majority of people. So that's something that I'm proud of, and I'm just gonna keep going, keep questioning and keep thinking about lots of things, and trying to view this world in different viewpoints, and trying to actually understand them instead of just writing them off as brainwashed, or like, you know. But there genuinely are people who have never even questioned not a single thing about their own belief, and that's the point where I get kind of like, not an eek. Like I don't hate them for it, but I'm just like, how come are we like, are you that off? Like at least if it's something yours, like especially if it's your own religion, then I feel like I would have so many questions as an outsider, but maybe it's not something like how it goes for someone who just um who just gets it, who just believes it just because their family does. And yeah, like the most of times I talk with other people, especially I feel like I'm so also glad that I could at least talk about this matter in a language that's a lot more straightforward than my native language. Also in Spanish, I can speak Spanish, but not to this level. That's why like Spanish is something that I'm trying to hone in, and like kind of lock in myself so that I can put myself into this level, so that I can also thinking in Spanish, because I believe that your kind of stand, even your own belief can change if you think and write in different languages. So yeah, these are things that I've been thinking about lately, and it's just once again, I don't want to come across as someone who thinks that I'm above of somebody, like I'm above of people around me, because I think that's even like that's the dangerous part of being isolated for a very long time and trying to just figure things out by yourself. That's also reason one of the reasons why I kind of stopped. How do I say? Stopped using AIs. I used to use a lot AI to do my own research, but I'm just after I got kind of hang of it, hang of using Google, actually googling things and reading stuffs that are like very how do I say sources that are trustworthy, like trustable, believable. Let's say I know that's not the word, but I failed to re- take like remember the word that I was trying to use. But anyways, yeah, thank you for listening to this video.